If a woman left you once, there was a reason. And if she's coming back now, you better understand what changed, because jumping in blind can cost you more than the first time. Welcome to the channel. Good to have you here. We talk straight here. No fluff, no games, just real conversations men need in order to move smarter and live better. If a woman left you once, there was a reason. And if she's coming back now, you better understand what changed, because jumping in blind can cost you more than the first time. Welcome to the channel. Good to have you here. Now, when a woman walks away, it's never random. It may have felt sudden to you, but it wasn't sudden to her. She thought about it. She weighed her options. She made a choice. And that choice didn't include you. But now she's back. Maybe she misses you. Maybe she realized what she lost. Or maybe she just wants the comfort of who you used to be in her life. It happens more often than people admit. The problem is, when she returns, a lot of men get caught up in the idea of getting her back, without thinking about why she left in the first place, or if bringing her back into their life even makes sense anymore. What we're going to do today is give you a clear mindset and game plan for that moment, because how you handle it says a lot about where you're at as a man. Are you in control of your decisions, or are you reacting based on old emotions? Are you giving her another chance with a purpose, or just hoping things will feel the way they used to? Whether you want her back or not, there's a right way to move, and that's what we're covering. No bitterness, no revenge talk, and no desperate make-up stories. Just the facts, the perspective, and the steps that put you in a better position, regardless of what she wants. Let's break it down the way it needs to be broken down. 1. She left you, so you owe her nothing. When someone walks away from you, especially someone who said they cared, it changes the dynamic. And whether she wants to admit it or not, when she left, she made a choice that had consequences. One of those consequences is that she no longer gets to expect the same version of you waiting around like nothing happened. You don't owe her your time, your energy, or your forgiveness on demand. It doesn't mean you have to be angry. It doesn't mean you have to hold a grudge. But it does mean you should stop thinking like you owe her a clean slate just because she decided to come back around. Let's say you were in a serious relationship and things started to drift. Maybe she pulled away, stopped investing in the relationship, and eventually ended things. You took it hard, maybe even blamed yourself. You spent weeks or months getting your mind right again, hitting the gym, focusing on work, figuring things out. Then out of nowhere, she texts you, "Hey, been thinking about you lately." This is where most guys mess up. They immediately get hopeful. They think, maybe she changed her mind. Maybe we can work things out. And in that moment, they give away all the progress they made. Why? Because they feel like getting her back means they've won something. But here's what's actually happening. You're forgetting the fact that she left. She broke the trust. She disconnected first. And now she wants access to you again, but without acknowledging what her leaving really meant. You don't owe her your attention just because she wants it now. You don't owe her a response if you're not ready. And you definitely don't owe her the same version of yourself she used to know. Think of it this way. If someone walks out of a business deal and leaves you hanging, then later wants to jump back in when it's convenient for them, would you just say yes? Of course not. You'd evaluate it. You'd ask, what's different now? What's changed in them? And what's changed in me? It's the same here. You're not being harsh, you're being smart. There's nothing wrong with hearing someone out, but that's your choice, not a favor you owe. Respect yourself enough to remember that just because someone returns doesn't mean you're supposed to go back to how things were. You've grown, you've changed, and now it's on you to decide if she even belongs in the version of your life you're building now. That starts with knowing, without guilt, that you don't owe her anything. 2. Test her intentions, don't trust her words. When a woman comes back after leaving, she's going to say a lot of things. She might tell you she misses you, that she made a mistake, that she's been thinking about you every day. And while some of that might be true, none of it means anything without action. Words are easy. Effort is proof. One of the biggest mistakes guys make is accepting what she says at face value. They hear the right words and immediately start filling in the blanks with hope. But here's the reality. People often say what they feel in the moment, not what they actually plan to follow through on. That's not always manipulative, but it is unreliable. So if she says she wants to try again, don't just smile and slide right back into the relationship. Watch what she does. Watch how consistent she is. Watch how she handles real conversations, boundaries, and accountability. If her words don't match her behavior, you've got your answer. Testing her intentions doesn't mean playing games. It's not about making her jump through hoops or being cold. It's about observing without getting pulled back in emotionally. You're not looking for her to prove she's perfect. You're simply seeing if what she says lines up with what she does. Is she taking responsibility for the past, or just trying to skip over it? Is she genuinely interested in your life now, or just trying to relive old memories? Is she adding peace and clarity, or bringing confusion and inconsistency? This isn't about being paranoid. It's about protecting what you've rebuilt since she left. If you're going to consider letting someone back into your life, especially someone who already walked away once, then you have every right to take your time and look at the situation with clear eyes. If she really values you now, she won't just talk about it. She'll show it. And if she's not willing to do that, then her return is just noise. You're not here to be convinced with sweet talk. You're here to see if she's serious. And if she's not, then you keep it moving with no hesitation. 3. Never rush back into the same spot. When a woman comes back, the temptation to slide right back into the same dynamic is strong, especially if you still have feelings, or if part of you has been holding out hope. But one of the worst things you can do is treat her return like a reset button, as if everything goes back to how it used to be. It doesn't, and it shouldn't. The version of the relationship that ended, that's already proven it didn't work. Something was off. Maybe in how you communicated, maybe in how she treated you, maybe in what you accepted. Whatever it was, if you don't take the time to reset the terms, you're just walking back into the same problems. This is where patience and self-respect matter. You don't need to be cold, but you do need to be intentional. If you're thinking about reconnecting, it has to be on a different level, with different standards. You can't bring her back into your life just because the chemistry still feels familiar or comforting. You have to ask yourself what's actually different now. Has she done anything that shows growth, or is it just talk? Have you grown enough to hold a better boundary if things go sideways again? And do you even want the same kind of relationship you had before? Or are you only considering it because you're afraid of being alone? Most guys rush because they're afraid she'll disappear again if they don't act fast. But if she's serious, she's not going anywhere. If her return is real, she'll respect your pace. And if she bails because you didn't jump in right away, then she wasn't really back for the right reasons. The point here is that you have the right to take your time. You have the right to keep your distance until you're sure she adds value to the life you've been building without her. You have the right to set new terms, and if she's not willing to meet them, that's your answer. Rushing back into the same spot does nothing but lower your standards. And once you do that, she'll follow your lead. She'll assume nothing really changed. She'll fall back into old habits. And before you know it, you're repeating the same cycle, just with a few new promises sprinkled on top. Slow it down, stay in control, make her earn her place in the life you've created, not the one she walked out on. 4. Control the frame or lose it again. If she's back in your life, even just circling around, one thing matters more than anything else. You need to stay in control of the frame. That means keeping your mindset, your standards, and your direction solid, no matter what kind of energy she brings. The frame is how you carry yourself. It's the way you lead your life, the boundaries you keep, the values you stand on. And when you lose it, everything becomes reactive. You start adjusting to her moods, her attention, her timing. That's what puts you right back in the position you were in before she left. Waiting, hoping, chasing. Now, controlling the frame doesn't mean trying to dominate or act tough. It's not about being overly masculine or pretending you don't care. It just means you're not bending yourself to keep her interested. You're not switching up what matters to you just because she's back. When a woman senses that you're still grounded, focused, clear, and not desperate for her return, it changes everything. She either respects that and shows up differently, or she fades away because the old control she had isn't there anymore. Either way, you win. But if you start shifting your energy to match hers, waiting for her to decide what this is, giving her emotional power over you again, it's only a matter of time before you feel like you're chasing someone who already walked away once. And that's exactly where she'll start to lose respect for you all over again. This time around, things have to be on your terms. That doesn't mean you ignore her or treat her like she's beneath you. It means you move how you would move with or without her. And if she wants to be part of that, cool. But she follows your pace, not the other way around. If you don't control the frame, the relationship becomes unstable. She might take over the direction again, and you'll end up right back in a place where your needs, values, or peace of mind take a back seat just to keep her around. So the goal is simple. Lead with clarity, stay consistent, and don't get pulled into emotional swings. If she's back, she needs to step into your life, not drag you back into the version of it that didn't work. 5. Your growth should speak louder than her apology. When a woman comes back after leaving, she may apologize. She might admit she messed up, say she wasn't thinking clearly, or tell you she didn't realize what she had. And while it's easy to want to hear those words, it's not what really matters. What matters more is how much you've grown since she left. Growth doesn't always mean becoming richer, stronger, or more successful. Sometimes it just means you've stopped tolerating things that drain you. You've learned to put yourself first. You've figured out who you are without needing anyone's approval. That kind of growth doesn't always show on the outside, but it's the most powerful shift there is. Let's say she reaches out months after the breakup, saying she misses the connection and wants to talk. You meet up for coffee, and she tells you she's been thinking a lot. She says she regrets how things ended. She apologizes for hurting you and admits she didn't see what she had until it was gone. Now, in the past, you might have accepted that apology and jumped right back in, hoping things would be better this time. But if you've grown, your mindset is different now. You're not cold about it, but you're clear. You don't get swept up in the moment because you're not the same man she walked away from. Instead of being pulled back in by emotion, you measure what she's saying against the version of yourself you've become. You pay attention to how she shows up now, not just what she says. And more importantly, you pay attention to what you actually want, not just what she's offering. When you've really grown, your energy shifts. You don't chase closure. You don't need validation. You're not looking for someone to complete you. You're already solid. And that alone changes the entire dynamic. It either forces her to show up differently, or it reveals that she's still the same. Either way, your growth keeps you in the driver's seat. An apology doesn't fix a pattern. And if she's coming back hoping for things to return to how they used to be, but you've moved past that version of yourself, then her words alone won't be enough. She has to catch up to who you are now, not expect you to shrink back to who you were then. Let your growth speak for itself. How you carry yourself, how you respond, how little you need her validation. That's what shows whether or not she deserves another shot, not her apology. 6. Don't reward her just for returning. A big mistake a lot of men make when a woman comes back is treating her return like some kind of victory. She shows up again, and suddenly she's welcomed like a hero. Warm messages, full access, no questions asked. But just because she came back doesn't mean she deserves that kind of response. Coming back isn't the same as making things right. It doesn't automatically mean she's changed, that she's serious, or that she's earned her spot back in your life. It just means she's decided to reappear. That's all. And if you reward that move too quickly, you set the tone for how the rest of the interaction will go. The second you give her instant comfort, attention, and emotional security just for showing up again, you send the message that there are no real consequences to walking away from you, that she can step in and out whenever it suits her, and you'll always be there ready to hit the reset button. You have to look at what she's actually doing, not just the fact that she's present again. Is she taking accountability for the past? Is she putting in any real effort? Is she showing that she respects the changes you've made in your life? Or is she just returning to a familiar place because she feels lonely, bored, or curious? Rewarding someone requires more than just a return. It requires consistency, genuine effort, and proof that they understand what went wrong the first time. Without that, giving her your time and energy too easily only weakens your position. It lowers the value of what you bring to the table. This doesn't mean you need to be cold or dismissive. It means you should be calm and measured. Keep your standards high and let her meet them if she's serious. Let her actions prove whether she's here for something real or just circling back out of convenience. Your time, your presence, and your peace are not cheap. If she wants access to any of that again, she needs to earn it. You're not a reward for her coming back. If anything, the real question is whether she's still someone who fits your life, not the other way around. So hold your ground, stay composed, and remember that showing up is easy. What matters is what she does after. 7. Decide if she fits the life you're building now. If a woman comes back after leaving you, the biggest question isn't whether she still likes you. It's not whether the chemistry is still there or if the feelings are still strong. The real question is, does she still fit into the life you're building now? This is where a lot of men fall off. They're so focused on what used to be that they forget to check if it even lines up with who they are now. They go right back into old patterns, thinking that getting her back means they've won something. But if you've been growing, if you've been leveling up mentally, emotionally, financially, then you can't just throw someone back into your life like nothing has changed. And if nothing has changed in you, that's something to think about. You've got to be honest with yourself. Have you actually been moving forward since she left? Or have you just been waiting, hoping she'd come back? Because if all your energy has been wrapped up in the idea of her return, then you haven't really healed. You've just been on pause. That needs to stop. Your focus should be on building a solid life, one with direction, purpose, and standards. And once you start doing that, you stop seeing every returning person as an opportunity and start seeing them as a choice. She's not automatically part of your new path just because she used to be there. You decide whether she aligns with where you're going. So take a look at where you're at. Does having her around support your peace, your focus, your goals? Or does it pull you back into old habits, old doubts, old cycles? If you're becoming the kind of man who takes care of his business, protects his energy, and moves with intention, then you've got to be selective with who gets access. Not out of ego, but out of self-respect. It's not just about whether she's changed. It's also about whether she fits into the life you're shaping now. A woman can be beautiful, familiar, even sincere, but if she doesn't match the direction you're headed, it's not a fit. And holding on just because of history will keep you from building the future you actually want. So be real with yourself. No more acting like every second chance is a blessing. Sometimes it's a test, sometimes it's a distraction, and sometimes it's just a reminder to stay focused on what you've been creating without her. You've got one job now: build a life that makes sense with or without her. And then ask yourself honestly, does she still belong in it? If she comes back after leaving you, it's not a moment to celebrate. It's a moment to evaluate. Not everything that returns is meant to be welcomed. Some things come back to test whether you've really moved forward or if you're still standing in the same place. Here's the part most guys overlook. Just because a woman regrets losing you doesn't mean she deserves you now. Let that sink in. This whole conversation isn't about bitterness. It's about clarity. You've got to protect what you've built. And more than that, you've got to know your value. You've grown through the pain. You've learned from the experience. That counts for something. So if she's back, take your time. Observe. Ask yourself the real questions. And whatever you decide, make sure it's based on who you are now, not who you were when she left. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Drop a comment and tell me. Has this happened to you before? Did you take her back or walk away for good? What happened next? I read every comment and I'll be jumping in to talk with you guys directly. Let's keep this real and honest, man to man. If this hit home for you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, your peace, your growth, and your time are not up for negotiation. Keep building. Stay solid. You're not done yet.